Are you planning a
busy
political
news day
bid?
today, a huge news day, and that is the biggest story of the day, according to the Daily Star. PM for PM, they've decided, the Daily Star, and far be it from me to question their wisdom here, that I should...
I can question their wisdom.
I should be Prime Minister, according to the Star.
As TV's gobbiest presenter, skewers, excuse me, another... I don't know why it's sticking in my throat. Another political pygmy. Normally, sane people are asking the same question.
Yeah.
Piers Morgan for Prime Minister. Well, look, you look pretty presidential or prime ministerial outside number 10.
I'll have to get a suit that fits. But yeah, listen, it's got a ring to it, hasn't it? It has got a ring to it. I mean, could I do any worse, is the real question. That's the real calculation for the British people. As they wake up this morning to this huge campaign by Daily Star, could I do any worse? The Daily Star's done a leader article. I'm the leader article, Daily Star. Piers Morgan may be a Marmite figure, but it's hard to deny he's been tireless and dogged in his pursuit of our useless politicians throughout this crisis. Ruthless in trying to get a straight answer out of the scoundrels. Unsurprisingly, most of them have looked completely clueless in response. Just look at what happened with Theresa Coffey yesterday. Well, yeah. It was embarrassing to the point of hiding behind your hands. Like him or loathe him, we need fearless interviewers. Like Piers, otherwise we'd be letting this irresponsible bunch of clowns off scot-free. Wow.
I'm here too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Susanna's also contributing to the programme.
Blimey.
They'd be quite happy to see him.
It's not good Morgan Britain yet.
Listen, I'm only reading the Daily Star. Don't get annoyed with me.
Right.
Right?
Well, I know what happened. Yesterday, I was on the front of the Sun. You were so irked that you rang the editor of the Daily Star and said, surely it's time for the campaign to get rolling.
The last time the Star put me on the front page, they called me a moron, so they owe me one. But they end up their leader thing, when good broadcasters actually sink their teeth into them, we get to see how rubbish they really are. There's a point to that, which is when we do go quite hard at these ministers, it's interesting who shines under the pressure and who does what Theresa Coffey did yesterday when she just gave up.
Switches off their Zoom call.
Too late. Unfortunately, I have to go to other broadcasters as well. Yeah, but we were due to start at 8:15.
I understand it.
I'm really excited about the opportunities to kickstart for young people.
I understand.
But I'm sorry, Piers, I'm going to have to go to another broadcaster.
I just wanted you just to clarify, given you said I was insulting.
Piers, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go.
You're going to go. You're not going to explain why you think I was the one insulting.
You've already had 20 minutes of my time. I appreciate your time as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
She was quite polite about it,
She reminded me of kind of like at the local WI committee meeting. I'm sorry, we've had enough time this morning. I've given you enough of my quality time. Here I am, D's. Oh, where's the button? I'm D. Oh, which one is it again? Which one am I de-zooming? Anyway, no wonder the Daily Star...
She had a serious point to make. She did have a serious point to make because we have repeatedly asked politicians on this programme, what are the reasons why we have one of the worst death tolls in the world, why we have the worst daily rate in the world. And many of them have not been able to answer or have not been prepared to answer. Theresa Coffey did give two significant reasons.
She said we're too old and we have too big an obesity problem. Her words, look, take a look.
There'll be a variety of reasons why people, unfortunately, have died due to this. Some of that will be recognising the age of our population. Some of that will be recognising the obesity of our population.
There we go. Well, anyway, I then put it back to so we're too old and too fat, which was the extrapolation of what she said, and she accused me of insulting her by using her own explanation back her, which seemed a bit...
She raises two very important points.
And we'll be talking about that, and they may well be. Although it doesn't explain, of course, why other countries, like New Zealand apparently has a high obesity level, for example, but they've done a different strategy as a government, and they have zero COVID. There were videos online last night from rock concerts in New Zealand.
Oh, remember them?
You should get them, actually, just to show people what is going on in New Zealand, because it's a completely different way of handling the pandemic, and they have virtually zero COVID, and they have gone back to normal life. James Cleverly, our old friend from the Tories, I've been on GMB many times. He's defending Theresa Coffey. I've been on GMB many times. Piers Morgan, again, there are two of us here.
I know, but you're the bad guy.
It's so sexist, isn't it? On a breakfast media round, the interviews are booked back-to-back, often with only 5 to 8 minutes between them. It really screws other broadcasters when one interviewer habitually runs over. Two things about that, Mr Cleverly. One, we didn't see you for 8 months, right? You lot boycotted us. So the idea we've kept you We've kept you behind from your other interviews. You didn't do any with us for 8 months.
We're making up for lost time.
Secondly, occasionally we do run 1 or 2 minutes late. Teresa Coffey came on 4 minutes late yesterday. You know the reason? We had an incredibly powerful interview with a Holocaust and coronavirus survivor, which we decided to let run a bit longer because we felt that was important and powerful. So that put us back the 4 minutes, which meant poor old Therese had to sit there for 4 minutes. Thirdly, I would add this. If you want to keep us to time, answer the damn questions. Answer the questions. In the last week, Brandon Lewis, Priti Patel, Gavin Williamson, we had Matt Hancock, we had Teresa Coffey. What's the common theme? They don't answer the question. So we have to keep asking the same question again and again. If you want to keep to time, when I ask a question, or Susanna does, just give us a straight answer. One of the people that does, and you'll probably prove me wrong today,
Nadhim
Zahawi, the vaccine minister, he gives a straight answer to a straight question. Even if it's not really what he wants to be saying, i.e. the truth. So that's my message to them. A lot of reaction all over the papers today. Interesting.
Not just on the front of the Daily Star, which is running a campaign for you to be Prime Minister.
Yeah, and we're going to come to that in a moment. Henry Deeds, La Coffey longed to be somewhere less hostile, like Raqqa. It's a good piece he's done there. John Crace in The Guardian, the columnist said, Coffey's Zoom walkout from breakfast time car crash leaves even Piers Morgan lost for votes. It did. It did. Quentin Letts, fat chance Sir Piers will have coffee for breakfast again. It's a fat chance of me being Sir Piers. But we'd always welcome her back to finish the interview. Give me a run out of steam. And capturing the real mood, I think, of the show at the moment, our old friend Ali Ross in The Sun.
Morning, Ali.
I'm Piers Morgan and this is Good Fawning Britain. Yeah, because that's really what everyone's talking about, Ali. How fawning we are on Good Morning Britain.
Teresa Coffey said, I'm not having any more of this fawning.
Poor old Ali. He's really struggled in the pandemic. Used to be a very funny critic. Really, I used to really like reading him. But now he's become the guy that everybody else says, we're skewering the ministers, the Star wants to make me Prime Minister. All the columnists and critics are lining up to say, God, it's brutal in there. But old Ali, he's seeing something completely different. He thinks we're being too fawning. Oh, Ali, try watching telly, mate. Try actually watching the show.